Hello everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly, apparently, My Dress Up Darling discussion videos. I am once again joined by the wonderful, the amazing, the spectacular Stella Luna.
I think you mean Startacular, but it's okay. Hello, hi.
Anyway, you guys did hit the like goal, by the way, so that means here is your gold star. Oh my god, so wonderful. I don't know what it is yet because I haven't made it yet, but it's your gold star. Look at it, beautiful. Anyway, let's try to hit 150 likes. 150 likes on this video.
Gold star better be me. Better be me.
Okay, fine. It'll be Stella. It'll be a gold star. Stella. 150 likes for the next gold star. And without further ado, let's go ahead and we're gonna jump into episode 3. So. Episode 3 of My Dress Up Darling started with a dream sequence.
Oh!
that was interesting. That was a thing that happened. What did you think of that?
I think it was very awkward. I'm not gonna lie.
It was very awkward.
I was like, okay, like I understand, like he had a dream about her and that he's clearly attracted to her. I think we've established this by now. He's clearly attracted to her.
He is into her, yeah.
Yeah, he's into her. It was interesting.
Well, when a dude likes a girl, sometimes there are dreams that happen,
Yes. His flagpole was raised.
Now, it did make me laugh because he looked at it as though like that is strange and different. I'm like, dog, I'm Ace and I wake up like that. That's just a natural part of a dude waking up most days. I know that's like probably TMI, but like it's literally I believe unless I'm wrong, like it's just how most people like wake up, and there is like a medical reason as to why dudes wake up standing at attention, as it were.
Yeah. No, there is. There's a medical reason.
I don't fully know it.
I'm not gonna fully get into it. This isn't biology.
This isn't this isn't your biology course. This is your biology course. So I was surprised that he was surprised by it. I was like, why are you surprised?
I think he was surprised by it because it wasn't because it was the morning.
Oh,
I think he was surprised by it because of his specific dream.
Well, okay, so I thought the dream itself was like funny, and again, it like My Dress Up Darling is very clever with how it uses fan service, and I say fan service even though we kind of got in trouble by some commenters for saying fan service last week. But it is fan service. I don't care what you say. You can have your opinion. You're wrong, but you can have that opinion. Fan service is not a bad thing, right?
This is why you get hate comments. I'm sorry.
This is why I get hate comments because people are dumb. But
oh my god,
because people aren't as smart as I am. No, I'm kidding. But like the thing is, like, it's not bad fan service. It's actually really well crafted fan service in the vein of like something like say JoJo, where it's worked in. Like he's having a dream. She would be doing that in a dream. And later on, there's fan service as well. Not fan service, but there's something she says that is very suggestive. But it's said in a really playful way where she's still the one in charge, right? Like she gets to control her own sexuality, like the entire show so far, which I really like. Like episode 2 had her in the bikini, but it wasn't like, ooh, scandalous. It was literally just like her being like, let's friggin' do this cosplay thing, right? Like she's just into it. And I think the way that they handled it in the dream was also good. Because it was like, because we were both like, whoa. But like, because it was
an interesting start,
It was an interesting start, right? Because I was like, what is going on? But I
think some dudes could relate.
Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like every dude has at least had one of those dreams. So it's definitely I feel like every guy is able to relate to that. Whether it's a girl or a guy in said dream, irrelevant, right? Like everyone's had a dream of like something like that happening, right?
No, never. No, never.
Girls don't have that?
No, never.
Hmm.
No, we're girls. We don't even go to the bathroom. Like that's we don't fart. We don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Did you not know? Girls don't do that.
Sure. No, I believe you. And the funniest part too about the dream for me was when he wakes up and he has and he sees I can't remember like the doll's name,
Oh yeah, the Hina doll.
Hina doll, right? He sees the Hina doll, and it's like, can you look the other way, please? I was like, oh no. I felt so bad. Like when he's like, can you please look the other way? I was like, oh, just turn its head around. Just turn its head around, Gojo. You'll feel better. That's rough.
Yeah.
He has a hard time looking at her after too. Like he's like embarrassed about it.
No, he's so embarrassed.
It was really funny. Yeah, that whole scene was great.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and then the episode, we go from that, right? And we go from him like not being able to look her in the eye. And I think it's funny because he cares so much. He's like, I can't bring her popularity down. I can't. And it was such a high school thing because it's such a high school trope.
It is.
To see like there's so many times in anime and manga that I've seen where you have like the socially awkward person who's like kind of the outcast, and then what they do is they're worried because the person they're interacting with is this popular person or whatever, and they're like, oh, I can't bring their popularity down. I must not interact. We can't have people thinking we're together. All this stuff, right? Because like a guy and a girl can't be friends and they can't be in the same social like circle, I guess. I don't know, but it happens all the time. It happens in like Kimi ni Todoke. It happens a lot in shoujo, actually. A lot in shoujo.
Yeah. The like I can't let them be seen with me.
I love you. Yeah, say I love you.
I can't say I love you. Yeah, there's a lot of like I can't say I love you. I can't...
No. That's a series.
Oh no,
it's called Say I Love You.
Oh okay. But it's true, like that trope exists, right? Where like the girl, the girl and the guy can't tell each other they love them. They can't like understand their feelings because before you even get to the like I can't tell them my feelings, they have to wrestle with their feelings for like ever, right? And then of course there's this trope from this week where it's like I can't be seen with them. It'll hurt their popularity. There's a lot of tropes in a lot of these shows. Mm-hmm. But I feel like here, it's not bad. It's cute here, No,
I do think it's really cute because it just the way they set it up, and like we don't dwell on it for super long.
Yeah,
right. It happened all of like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, like he runs away from her. Like he spends the entire episode running. We get what I'm going to pretend was a JoJo's reference when she's like. Like would just Gojo, like she does like the Dio like re, like the re, like it's like Dio's re.
Frank?
Yes, Frank. Okay, if anybody doesn't know, Stella calls Dio Frank. It's an inside joke. But like, yeah, it's but when he does, like when he does like the backwards like re, like that's literally what it looked like. Yeah. Gojo. Yeah, it looked like like Dio's re. Which wouldn't surprise me because we actually get 2 references this week. We do get like I'm going to assume that was a Dio reference, and then we get a Miku reference of all things.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, we get a pink Miku reference, which is very funny. But before we get into that, I do want to say, like, before we get into like the cosplay side of things, which you're going to be definitely having to handle a brunt of that because I'm just like, yay. Yeah. But before that, I want to wrap up Gojo being awkward. And thinking like I'm gonna hurt her popularity by talking about the fact that our girl has like her own group of girls already. Like it's not like she's like I've never had friends. Like she has friends who are seemingly all gals except for like Noah.
She might be more on like the kind of like gives me visual K type side because of the way her hair is dyed, that it's red underneath and black on top. Like I get very like visual K-ish vibes, which I know you don't know what that is.
No, yes, please explain to me and the other dudes.
Visual K is like it's a or like VK is like it's a genre of music actually and like fashion.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm trying
like
to think of like
in like this in the West.
It's kind of like seen a little bit, yeah. Like I would say it's like I don't know, like it's like history, too much, right? But it is a music genre. Think about like I can't think of any bands off the top of my head.
Is it like is it like a Vampire Knight aesthetic.
Yeah.
Akaku.
No, more like amnesia. Memories,
Amnesia.
like
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
more
Yeah.
like
I know
Amnesia.
I know the style.
Yeah. It's more amnesia-esque.
Okay.
It is definitely it's a Japanese. That's he mentioned she mentioned Visual K.
Yeah.
Later on in the show, and you're like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm
I was like, what? And you're like, oh, Visual K, and I was like, what does that mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. But I can see. Yeah. So she's like not a gal, but she is like using a sort of alt fashion sense. Then.
Yeah. So she is a gal.
Okay.
But the thing is like a lot of these like Visual K. Like he talks about Gothic Lolita, like all of this stuff is very much like cosplay is kind of like a mixture of all of that. Like a lot of the shops they go to, a lot of people who are into these subcultures also go to, like the wig shop. But we'll get into that a little bit later because I have a lot to say about like the cosplay side of things because I'm like, so
Okay.
fun watching.
I did just want to quickly like address like Noah and say like I don't really have time to do a design time on Noah because there's a lot of other like cosplay stuff to talk about, but I did think that the fact that her colors are like black and red are kind of interesting because it's like, okay, is she gonna be like a mysterious type character? Are we gonna learn a lot about her? Or is she gonna be like the mysterious one? Because that's not the vibe she gives. Like when she pops up, she's like, hi-oh, or like, do you want a lollipop? Right? Like she's like the fun one. So I was like, black and red is an interesting color scheme for that character. I think it's literally like, I don't think it's meant to say anything about her because usually, you know, on the channel, like we talk a lot about like, what do these colors mean for this character? Because colors chosen are usually very important. With Noah, I feel like they are important, but not to tell you about her personality, more to tell you about like what she's into.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like she's clearly sort of like, I don't say goth, but like you said, Visual K. Like she has a very specific style, and that's what the colors are supposed to represent. But she does have like we said while watching, like her friends seem like actually really cool. Like they don't seem like kind of like again, the gal stereotype of like, oh, they're bitches, right? Like they're not like that. They're not bitchy. They're not rude. They're just sort of like, oh, hey, leave the nice guy alone. Like when Marin runs up to him, they're like, don't pick on him, right? Like they're like nice to him, and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll see you around, right? Like they're not like they're really good to him. And it's only then after that the other girls in school are like, is she dating him? No way. Could you imagine? I'm like, why would you say that loud enough for him to hear?
Yeah, it was like it's so rude. It's the one thing about anime is like anime high school. Like this is why I don't always like the setting is because it's stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like
they're
that's
just like
obnoxious.
They're so gossipy.
Yeah.
In high school anime especially. Like I don't know Japanese high schools very often, but I hear very much, but I hear that a lot of them are very gossipy like that, which is like
it's upsetting,
they
right?
literally
You're like, I don't like that.
You're like, you hear something and you just like believe it. And I guess that might be high school in general, but it's a big reason why I don't like high school settings all the time because a lot of conflict that we get comes from stuff like that.
Yeah, where it's just like
it's just somebody
gossip
said
and drama.
something.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Really reminds me of Toilet Bound Hanako, where like all the kids just believe everything they hear and it makes ghosts appear. That's a topic that's a video for a whole other day.
Yeah, that is.
But yeah, do you want to get into some of the more sort of cosplay stuff?
Oh, I was so happy. They go to the cosplay store or the store basically, not the cosplay store. Yeah, they were in the cosplay store, right? And it was funny because he was looking out, like they were looking at the notes and everything, and JoJo just sits here and goes, "Is it that much?"
I was shocked.
He was shocked. I'm like, yeah. You know, like you got so many things because they're making cosplay from scratch, especially. Because like if you're making cosplays from scratch, you know, you've got your fabric, you have your different fabrics, you probably have your laces, you have your like interfaces. They're probably doing a corset, so they need like things like for the corset stuff, they need like boning, they need like lining, they need ribbon. They need, they talked about the petticoat, but that they can buy a petticoat instead of make one because like they just exist and you can just buy a petticoat. Not to mention like contacts and wigs and like they needed flowers and they need like probably special bras because like this specific character is very stacked.
Yes, that's
like
true.
their shoes. you know, like all this stuff, right? And as a cosplayer, as somebody who really like, I've made a few cosplays in my life. I've made quite a few actually, and like let me tell you, my process was crazy. Like I you know, I painted, like hand painted things. I you know, like sewed things together. Like it's a big process, and especially since they're making it from scratch with no pattern whatsoever, that's a major skill right there. That is actual skill. So, you know, like JoJo being able to do this from scratch is like some major talent. Major talent. One of the things I really enjoyed is they went to the wig store, and it was called Swallowtail? Swallow's Tail. And it really reminded me of two specific brands. It reminds me of these two Japanese brands that I love to death, but unfortunately because they're overseas, they're really expensive and the shipping hurts my wallet a lot. So we have like a Sis cosplay. It reminded me of a Sis cosplay and wigs and Airly. And I think it was referencing Airly because of the way that the wigs were and like the color variations where they were like slightly different colors of the same color. That is very Airly. They have like 5 teals that are all slightly different blues. Right?
Okay.
Right? And it was like nice to watch because I was like, oh my goodness, look at all of this cosplay stuff. I haven't cosplayed in a while because, you know, the panorama kind of sucks and we all hate the Crayola virus.
Yeah, nice. That was the sickest way you could have said that without getting us in trouble. Well done.
You're welcome. Thank you. But yeah, it was really fun to kind of like watch them, you know, get all this stuff. And it reminds me of the time like when I started getting into cosplay and how excited I was. You know, I and then not to mention they have 2 weeks to make this cosplay. Oh Lord, 2 weeks. I've been there before. I've been there before. I remember my very first cosplay I ever made by myself, like from scratch. I cosplayed Princess Serenity from Sailor Moon. Made the damn cosplay in 3 days.
That is actually wild.
And I stayed up all night, every night for 3 days straight. And I went to work too. And I remember I wore it at the con. I made it myself, even though I hot glued half of it together because I didn't know how to fucking sew. And I was so proud of myself. So like that part, like in episode 1, when she shows him like her cosplay that she made, I was there. I've been there before. That was me. I was like, what's lining? What's this kind of stitch? What's back stitching? What's hemming? What's any of this stuff?
Yeah, because he was genuinely mortified. I think the first time he saw her outfit.
If he saw hers and was mortified, he would have been on death row with mine.
That's funny. It's interesting.
Really bad.
Well, it's interesting for me, like as sort of like an. Sorry, I'm still coughing. It's interesting for me as like an outsider, like because it's like I've cosplayed before, but usually in groups and as like somebody's like, you know, like they want to do like a cosplay group and they need somebody else, right? So like I've done like Death the Kid or Kid Flash, right? Why is it that every character I've cosplayed has Kid in the name?
Because you're short. I'm sorry.
Because I'm a short boy. They needed me for my height, or rather lack thereof. But yeah, like every time I've ever cosplayed, it's usually been in a group, right? So I'm not the one like in the heat of it, dealing with this kind of stuff. So it's interesting for me to hear like somebody who's in that position, like, well, because they went to, like you had mentioned a store that I had like literally never heard of, and I was like, wait, no, I think Joann's. I know what that is. Yeah, Joann's, right? Because they go shopping for cloth at one point, right?
Yeah.
And I was confused when he's like, oh, we shouldn't do that, like the world that she comes from has a lot of sort of like specific colors, so you should go more with this, and you're like, also that photograph's better. So he's talking about how like the school that these girls that they go to is a really prestigious school, so instead of using something like a shiny fabric, right, using something a little bit more matte, a little heavier would be more ideal because it's usually a nicer fabric. It also photographs really well because the kind of like if you go to Joann's and you see like the really shiny fabric, stay away from it.
It's horrible. It photographs terribly. You want to make your cosplay look like it was $5. You want to make it look like Dog VA made it and put it in one of his videos. That's what you buy. That's what you buy. But using
somewhere
something
Connor's like that wasn't very nice.
You could hear him in the distance, like sobbing.
Sobbing in British.
Sobbing in British. But like a lot of like the material, like I think the material he picked up was some kind of like twill or something like that, which is what I would use, right? Because it's a nice heavy fabric. It's kind of it does have like a little nice bit of like shine to it, but not in a like shiny way. It just kind of shines a little bit. And like kind of like a suiting fabric, essentially, like maybe something a suit would be made out of, right? Where it like photographs really well. It has like a little bit of a shimmer to it, like gleam, but it would be really nice to make into a dress, right? And you know, he was talking about these little details that like a cosplayer definitely would look at. The wig, him going like, she was like, oh, this is black, right? But him going, well, you know, her color scheme is kind of purple, and like if you really look at her hair, like even though it is black, like this purple would be a really nice contrast to it, right? Just to kind of add a little bit more to it, right? Because sometimes if you do one-on-one in like real life, it can fall flat sometimes. So doing that little bit of color, like adding that little bit of color to your wig, because it's even though it was like a dark purple, it was so dark it looked black with a purple tint to it. Yeah. And I've done that for cosplays before, where I've like looked at a character and I went, you know what? Like Midnight. I had like a Midnight cosplay I wanted to do. I still have the wig for it. But like her hair is really dark, right? Like you could say it would be almost black, but you know, I got a really dark blue color, right? Because her hair has a little bit of a blue tint to it. It's very rare that you will get like a pitch black wig for a character, because it doesn't really photograph all that well, and it also usually looks better with the color scheme of a character to go with that tint.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
See, there's so much that I'm learning. There's so many new things. I know so little about this stuff.
I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm like going off about cosplay here.
No, it's cool because my brain was just like, I just thought of the best clickbait title, and it's gonna be like, my girlfriend geeks out over the cosplay in episode 3 of My Dress Up Darling. Perfect. The clickbait is strong. It's not even clickbait. That actually happens in this video.
It actually happens.
Yeah, that actually happens.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you know what else I want to talk about before we like close, all right?
Yeah.
Is I actually like I brought this up during the episode, or during the video already, that like she, like Marin, is very much like in control, which is very unusual, especially for a seinen, right? Yeah. Like, and I really appreciate how they've handled like her character and her like, I guess like, I don't know what you call it, just like her appeal, like her, you know what I mean? Like the way that her sexuality, yeah, like the way that they handle her is really really well done. Like when they're in the fucking, like when they're buying the garters and stockings, right? Which, by the way, every guy, like we were literally watching it, and when he's like panicking, Stella laughed and was just like, I don't know why it's such a big deal. Couples go in there all the time. And Marin even says like, couples are in here all the time. It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
As the guy, I could tell you that it's like, it's not awkward because you do see other dudes, but you like, you'll turn to the other guy next to you and you'll give like a knowing nod, right? You're just like, humu, right? Just like, we are in this place together when we really don't want to be, because we don't want to be seen. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about it that's like, we want to be like Victorian children. You know, we're like seen and not heard, right? Yep. We're just sort of like there and we're just minding our own business.
Which, but, by the way, that scene was so funny.
It's so when she like leans out and is just like, hey, you know what? Like, you've been really helpful. Should I like, what does she say? It's something like, you want to see something extra spicy, right? Like she says something like that, right? We're like, oh, get back in the change room, you little shit. Like she's so funny. Like
she's really. It was really funny because like, you know, she did things to get like kind of a little bit of a rise out of him, right?
Yeah. Like she knows, like that confirmed to me that I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing, right? Like she's not totally oblivious. Like she is aware that she's like, no, I'm screwing with you a little bit, right? She's teasing him. She's not being like a jerk, you know. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I probably have done the same thing to you.
You absolutely would have. Like I was watching, I'm like, yep, that's 100% something that would happen. But yeah, like it was a cute scene, and I think like I really ship those two. Like her and Gojo, I really like those two together. Like the scene of them like on the bridge where she's like thanking him because she's like, hey, I just wanted to thank you for coming out with me and hanging out. Like, and you didn't even have to play that game, but you did anyway. And now I have somebody to talk about. What is it, like slippery something? I forget what they call it. I forget the name. Slippery Girls. Yeah, like now I know somebody who's played Slippery Girls, and that's like really great, right? Like that scene is so super cute, right? Like it's super sweet. Like I really like that scene a lot.
It was really cute. The other thing I want to say though, this is my prediction. Okay, so the girls that the cosplayers she was freaking out about on her phone, clearly the two girls we see in the opening.
100%.
When they're at the anime type store or whatever. Definitely like the shorter girl is definitely the magical girl cosplaying one. And then the taller girl with the big stack is the cross player.
100%. She's definitely the cross player.
She's definitely the cross player because we have characters like Hana from Wotakoi that exists where she's a cross player and she's fucking stoked. Like, I feel like a lot of times when we see like very tall women in anime that have big stacks, they're always the cross player. Always. More than likely they are. And it was interesting too because I really liked how Marin was like really fangirling over these other series and these cosplayers. It makes it nice to know she doesn't only play Eroge. Yeah,
she like actually like she's like she's an otaku, right? Like, but like she's not like socially awkward about it. Like she enjoys like cosplayers. She likes Eroge games. Like she probably watches anime. We've seen her watch anime actually. Like
in the opening, she does.
Yeah, she watches anime, right? So it's like she is like an otaku. She's just not awkward, Like
yeah. She's not afraid of being a quote unquote otaku. She's just like, yep. I like this thing because like
it's cool.
You shouldn't make fun of people for what they like, and that's very much in her character.
There's definitely like I think the mantra of the show as well is like don't make fun of people for what they like, because like at the beginning of the show, Gojo is made fun of by that one girl for liking Hina dolls.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, so I think a big mantra of the show is like just like what you like and be yourself, right? Like that's a good mantra. Like it's again something that feels weird for a seinen, because it's like I feel like most dudes of that age know that lesson already, but it's still a nice lesson to be reminded of,
Yeah, that you can like what you like and everything. Also, like Marin, she's so cute. Like
she's the best.
The whole episode, I'm just like, she's so cute. I love her so much.
She gets so much Sakuga. I've never seen a character get like so much like character Sakuga. So like, there's different kinds of Sakuga, right? Like when we say Sakuga, like Sakuga just means animation for anybody who's like, what is he talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did you or did you not?
I didn't know that word.
Okay, so Sakuga just means like really like so Sakuga means animation in Japanese, but when we use it in the West, it's meant to reference like really super well animated scenes, right?
She does. Oh my goodness, the amount of time she's animated so well, I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, there's different types of Sakuga. There's like action Sakuga. There's like there's like just all different types. If you go to Sakuga Boru, which is literally a website that just gets the best Sakuga from each episode and shows you it, it's super cool. Great website.
The more we I was just gonna say, the more we get into the series, the more I'm like, damn, she's definitely the waifu of the season, if not
the year. I think because the amount of Sakuga that goes into her tells me at the very least she's the studio's waifu of the year. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what, she's the animator's waifu of the year.
Well, the amount of times I've seen her pop up on my timeline on like Twitter that have been just art.
It's so, I see her all the time. Everywhere I go, I see her face. It's nuts. Like, I see her everywhere. I've already seen like a shit ton of people cosplay her. I've seen a lot of girls say that they relate to her, right? Like, it's been crazy, Well, including you. like
yeah, I think that's exactly why like it's a very good show and like a lot of people really like it, is because especially for girls, like they really relate a lot to Marin and how she is and how she acts and like how excited she gets, because like there's nothing worse than being excited over something and the person you're talking to just doesn't get it.
They say, right? Like she even says like they give her like the sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Yeah, and you're just like, oh, okay, cool, like awesome, and like even in the beginning of the series, like there was that one dude who's calling her waifu lame and she got pissed off about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I think we've all been there, but I feel like a lot of times girls have been there too. We get like, oh, like you can't be really into what you're doing because like, or what you like because you're a girl, and like girls don't like anime. It's been there, there. I mean, I know it's an absurd like idea, but like I've been freaking geek checked in the past. And it's not fun when people think you're like, you only do things for attention. And it's like Marin clearly is a character who does not do things for attention.
Yeah.
She does things because she likes it. She's a gal. She's into anime. She's not afraid to talk about it. She's still popular, I guess. Everyone just thinks she's cool, but
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, I feel like a lot of girls can really relate to her.
Yeah. It's a really good show. I feel like it's funny because this is a seinen that's pulling in a lot of like female viewers.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah, like it. But again, it's still marketed at like men, right? But yet it pulls in a lot of female viewers, and I think that's a sign of a really good series where it's marketed one way, but literally anybody likes it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Anything else? Like any final thoughts?
Nope. I think that's about it, honestly.
All right then. Well then. Outro. And there you have it, everybody. That is going to wrap it up for today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and set notifications to all. Let all of AniTube know that you are here, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and check out our Discord so that you can actually be notified when new videos go up. And of course, you'll also be notified when we're streaming over on the other website that starts with a T. On top of being the best way to get notified for new videos, it's also a good place to discuss with fellow anime fans and stuff like that. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and join us over on the Discord, link down in the description. Also linked to the description is our Patreon page, and that, along with the join button right beside the sub button, are great ways to help keep this channel afloat. You will find our Patreon page for as little as $1. You can help keep this channel running. And of course, a big thank you I have to give to our masters of masters, the true legends, Asaki VT, Elizabeth Just Elizabeth, JCran23, Jeremy P, Matt87 Eagle, Shadow Creative, Shiorins, Stephen G, Stevie W, Trapmaster, Trevor W, and Tristan G. Thank you all so much for being so freaking cool. I really love and appreciate all of you guys for your tremendous support of this channel. And if you too would like to have your name shouted out at the end of videos, once again, go check out that Patreon link in the description or hit the join button right beside the sub button. Either way helps out a ton. And that's it for me. So until next time, clean your room. Just trust me, a clean room is a clean mind. Maybe do some Tai Chi. Maybe drink lots of water and brush your teeth. And yeah, have a good day. Bye.